The Lord is leading me to do something different. So I just want to testify about something specific, and I have to stay on track with what he's leading me to do so that I'm not like, I'm a little ADHD, okay? And the Lord knows that about me. And if I start to do one thing that I'm like not focused on, I will completely stop doing what I was initiating to do, okay? By the way, I'm just coming on here and testifying about this because it's changed my life. What God has done for me has changed my life, and I'm not here to persuade anyone to do what I'm doing. I'm only here to testify about what he's done for me so that you can be encouraged to continue to trust God in your journey and wherever it is that he is specifically leading you. I just want to tell you guys about the last year of my life, okay? Because a lot of people, they probably see the fruit. They see the fruit of the Spirit in my life. They see the fruit of the Spirit on these lives. They see the fruit of the Spirit on these channels, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. And I want to tell you why the fruit is there, okay? I want to testify because sometimes the enemy lets us see the fruit, right? He lets us see the result of somebody's life, or he lets us see the fruit. And I will respond to comments after this because I will get off of my grind, okay? So I'm not even gonna really look at the comments at the moment because I need to stay focused, and I know that I get unfocused very easily. That's something that I just know about myself, and God knows about me too. I want to tell you guys what has happened to me in the past 18 months and how I've gotten to this place, okay? Because a lot of people will see people getting recognition. They'll see God blowing their life up. They'll see the fruit of God moving in their life, and they'll start to compare themselves to them and wonder why they're not seeing that fruit in their own life. And I want to testify about my life, okay? Because I can't testify for y'all, but I can testify for me. And you can't testify for me, but you can testify for you, right? So just a little back up, a little journey. I've always dealt with depression and anxiety my entire life. I used to be so mentally unstable to the point that I was trying to diagnose myself with like bipolar or multiple personalities. I was literally so hurt and broken my entire life because, you know, when we have gifts and we have Jesus, we're going to suffer. It says you will suffer for a little while and then, right? So we are promised suffering in this earth. And sometimes the reason that we suffer so much growing up in our life is because we are anointing and we do have a gift and we do have a purpose, and the enemy likes to attack us and make us feel like the suffering is against us, but really the suffering is building us up to find out who we are in Christ. Amen. So all my life, I struggled with suicidal thoughts. I got bullied a lot. My dad was an addict, and those who know, and those who don't. But if you are a child, you love your parents. And when you see your parents struggling in addiction, you see your parents struggling in sin, when you see your parents rejecting you for the world, it breaks you as a child. It hurts you. It makes you hate yourself. It makes you question your life. So all my life, especially in high school, is when it hit me the most. In high school, I couldn't stay focused. I probably could have had a full ride in basketball. I didn't want to do my work. All I wanted to do was just do what I knew, what I saw. I wanted to smoke weed. I wanted to skip school. I couldn't even focus because my whole life I had been warring for other people's souls, warring for other people's sanity, warring for them in the spirit. And I didn't even know how to war then. And sometimes when we don't even know how to war or what the war is about, we will carry these burdens and we will think that everything that we're feeling is in vain. But the truth is that is still God equipping us even when we lack knowledge. So anyways, whole life suicidal. I mean, bullied. I mean, put down, like wanted to die, like not even kidding. Like there was times I would lock myself in my room. I would sleep in the dark for days. I would just sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep because I didn't want to interact. I just hated everything about my life. Okay. And because I carried the burdens of other people and I loved them. I loved them with my whole heart. And I hated seeing the ones that I loved. I hated seeing the ones that I love suffering, okay? But that was a part of the gift, and now I know, okay? And by the way, guys, I'm not doing individual prophecies right now. I'm testifying about what God has done in my life. I know when to pour, I know when to prophecy, and I do not force anything. I do what he tells me to do because I'm not going to force anything, because then it's coming from a place of me wanting to be God, okay? So right now, the Lord is telling me to testify because this is going to encourage somebody in their walk, okay? So anyways, fast forward when I had just had my daughter, I actually prayed for this child. Like this was the first time I ever realized that when we write prayers down, that they will come to pass. But I was in the darkest season of my life. I had been homeless. I had been on the streets. I was like on drugs, like bad drugs. Like, I mean, I was doing really bad things in the streets. I was stealing out of Walmart every day. I was stealing to get my food. I mean, I was stealing outfits out of stores. Like, it was pretty bad, right? I had a pill addiction, like all types of things I can't even get into right now, but I was on the streets, period. I was on some gang stuff, for real. No, I'm just kidding. But for real though. And so I remember when I came to the end of myself and I wrote down in my journal, I said, God, I wrote it just like this. I remember it like it was yesterday. I wrote in my journal, I said, God, because I had been trying to get pregnant. I wanted to get pregnant. And my husband, he did not want no kid. It was me. It was me that wanted a kid. He wasn't even my husband then. I just wanted a kid. And I couldn't get pregnant for some reason. But when I wrote down this prayer specifically, I said, Father, if you bless me with a child, I promise you I will give my life to you. I wrote it down just like that. And I kid you guys not. 3 weeks later, I got a positive pregnancy test and I was blessed with my daughter. Remind y'all, I was in active addiction before her. I was addicted to weed, addicted to things. So I had to go to court. I got caught with marijuana. I was facing charges. I was facing stealing charges. And then I got pregnant while I was going through the AA meetings. I was going through AA meetings. I was going through, I had to go through VASAP. I had to pay my court fines off. So God bless me. I'm not going to cry because my lash is already missing. But anyways, God gave me the promise. Okay. So I was able to stay clean for 9 months. I was able to not smoke for 9 months. I was able to have a child being birthed in me. And I got so close with God in my pregnancy with my daughter. It was insane. Okay. So fast forward, I'm about to be so real and my husband's listening to me. So if he gets mad for me being honest, that's going to be on him. But I have to tell my full story because I'm not here to please man. I'm here to please the Lord. Okay. So anyways, when I birthed my daughter, I was ready to change my life. I no longer wanted to do the things that I did. I didn't want to smoke no more. I didn't want to do drugs no more. I didn't want to do anything. But see, my husband was still in the world. He still wanted to experiment. He still wanted to do other things. So of course, when you are in bonds with people or you have strongholds in your life, if one person goes back to the world, you might want to go back with them just because you don't want to lose that person, right? So when I had my daughter, I started to do things again. I started to get back in the dark. I started to get addicted again. I started to get back in the things that I was being delivered from because there was people in my life, including my own temptation, that was leading me back into the dark. And I went back, okay? And then this is when my life completely changed. In 2019, I was going through the worst depression you could ever imagine in your entire life. Not only was I going through the generational depression, but now I had postpartum depression on top of it. So I was literally at the end of my life, at the end of myself. And that is when everything changed. In 2019, October of 2019, and that is when God awakened me. He changed my entire life. I ended up going to a revival. And by the way, for you guys that know, my heart was broken by my father growing up, right? I was so sad for my dad. I hurt for him because I wanted him to be saved. I wanted him to turn away from the world because I saw him almost take his life from heroin addictions. I saw him pale, white as snow. I used to have to DD my aunts at 12 years old. I didn't even have a license on the interstate because they were drunk and they didn't know how to even operate as grown adults. I had the burdens of the world on my shoulder. And so I ended up going to a revival, which is crazy. The same year that I was awakened was the same year that my dad was growing in his faith. The same year that my dad was getting closer to Christ. What is it, son? What? Okay. That's cool. You need to turn it up for you? Let me see. Give it to me. What's wrong?
Daddy was playing the game with me and then Asa just took the...
It's okay. You can play it in a second. For now, we're just going to chill. Daddy's playing his game. Here you go. Anyway, sorry guys. I have kids and I'm a mother. Okay? But anyways, the same year that happened to me and God saved my life supernaturally from taking my life, my dad was having a revival at his barn. And by the way, my dad has a horse farm, like a humongous horse farm with all type of exotic animals. Yes, son? Stop taking it off, buddy. Stop taking it off. I've been giving it to you 30 times. And by the way, no, these are shorts. And if you're worried about what I have on, you have to fix your own eyes because I'm going to wear what I want. And if you can't control yourself of seeing a woman with some skin out, you have an issue. Back up off of me, please. And thank you because you're messing with the wrong one. This is shorts. in the skin. And if you can't control your eye from some skin showing, you have a lust problem and you need to go to the Lord about it, period. Unfortunately, that's your problem. It says to pluck your eye out if you have a problem. It says that those who have eyes who see lust are the problem, not the person that don't got the clothes on. It's the person that can't control their flesh. So back to what I was saying before I got interrupted. So my dad ended up having a revival the same year as I got saved. And remind y'all, my whole life was revolved around my dad. I couldn't think. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't even focus in the last year of school in my 12th grade year because I was so consumed mentally by the pain, the trauma, all the things that I've been going through my entire life. And so I ended up going to the revival. And remind you guys, when I'm walking in this revival, I'm like, it's so many different preachers from all types of different churches. There's people that have flown in from Atlanta, Georgia. Like, there's so many people at this barn. Like, crazy, right? Remind you, I'm in the darkest place mentally that I've ever been in my entire life. I just didn't want to live a week ago. And so I go to this revival, and God is so intentional. And I believe personally, I know this sounds crazy, I believe that revival was just for me. Like, I believe the fact... All right, this is my last... Come over here. This is my last time. I'm not doing it again. I'm really not. You're messing it up on purpose, and that is your own problem. Like, I'm not going to keep sitting here and doing the same thing, unfortunately. I'm not. Matter of fact, I'm about to go into the other room for a second. Just because he's okay. But they would just say mama, mama, because they love mama so much. Okay. So back to what I was saying. I ended up going to this revival, and now that I'm thinking about it, I believe that this revival was just for me, okay? I love him, but he is literally like, he's literally just trying to get my attention, and he's messing stuff up intentionally, so I gotta move. And I'm on 2 platforms. Y'all probably like, who are you talking to? I'm talking to other people on the other platform as well. So anyways, that happened. And then when I get to the revival, there's like 30 different preachers there, okay? There's some women there, there's some preachers there, and in my thoughts, because remind y'all, I'm in a dark spot. I'm trying to please my boyfriend. I'm trying to stay in the dark with him because he doesn't want to be delivered. Like, this is real life stuff, and I'm telling the truth, okay? Anyways, back. Oh yeah, God's not literally saying pluck your eye out. It's an analogy, but still, he would rather lust after somebody. So really, it could be literal if you can't do the work. People are preaching, and I'm gonna be honest, in my thoughts, I was like, these people are boring. This preacher is whack. I don't want to hear nothing that these people are saying. And I was about to leave the building. And I'm about to leave the revival and go smoke some weed and go back with I'm gonna be real, my demonic boyfriend. Let's be real. And walk out of the church, of the where the Spirit of the Lord is at. And as I'm walking out, this woman, she had just now, there's no prophecy in my life, except for the fact that my and I didn't even know this was prophecy, but he gave me my daughter when I prayed for her and wrote it down and made it plain, but I didn't know that then because I was on the milk. And when you're on the milk, you don't understand things when you're eating the whole food. You have to grow to. As I'm leaving, she looks at me and she said, "Young lady, leave, there is something that the Lord wants me to say to you." Like, this is exactly how this woman said it to me, okay? By the way, I was bored, and I was like, screw these pastors. I don't want to hear nothing that God is saying. I want to go smoke some weed, okay? Because I was just being dumb. And so she stops me in my prophesy over my life, things that no one but the Spirit of the Lord could have known over me, okay? I mean, he knew the deepest depths of my soul. He knew the pain. He knew the demonic thresholds. He knew everything. And when I say I was delivered and awakened, I felt the entities that had been trauma bonding me in my soul leave my body. I was screaming them out. And people who still are like on the milk to this day that were at that revival, they will deny that it even happened because they don't have eyes to see what happened. They don't even remember because they don't even know what God did for me there. But it wasn't for them. It was for me. Right? So I literally was delivered from every demonic threshold, every demonic entity, every demonic trauma bonded spirit that was lingering in me. It came out. I stood up and I closed my eyes and all I could see was white. Like, all I could see was white. And I felt the peace of God that surpassed all understanding that I could not explain. But I started to go into an open vision of heaven, and I was in heaven in my mind. I could not believe how God had set the shackles free off of me. So when that happened, when that happened, my life started to change. I left the revival. Everything started to change. The Spirit of the Lord was not only with me, He was in me. He was working through me. I was getting prophetic downloads. He was telling me things about the earth. He was telling me about how He was coming back. He was having me write prophetic music about His return. I mean, it was insane. And I have proof and records of all of this, which is crazy. Amen. If it's breaking up, you guys, I don't know, because it's not breaking up for anybody else. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the internet. I apologize. It could just be my phone. It has internet connection, so I apologize for that if you're not getting the fullness of what I'm trying to say. But God is going to get it through however He can. So back to what I'm saying. Anyways, God saved my life. I don't even know why I'm getting so deep. But anyways, ever since then, my life has not been the same. I've had prophecies come to life. I've had prophetic people and angels find me. I've had encounters with God that has literally changed my entire life. And what I was going to testify about today is a year ago, because this is when my mindset work really started, like about 18 months ago. Almost 2 years ago. I was praying for, I was listening to a podcast, like a Steve Harvey podcast. And in that podcast, Steve Harvey, that every day, even when he was homeless in his car, he used to write down in a journal his dreams and a gratitude list. So first he would thank God for everything that he had, because it says in the word to enter into his courts with thanksgiving, right? So first he would write down all the things that he was grateful for, and then he would start dreaming. He would start putting his dreams and his desires and his needs and his wants on the other side of it. So I remember right after that, the day after I listened to that podcast, and remind you, I've never listened to podcasts. It was not by happenstance or coincidence that I ended up on a podcast that was talking about writing it down and making it plain when I was living that out and didn't even know. Be quiet, and that is so impossible, especially if you're a mother or a father, Oh, crap. Lord, sorry, my phone's didn't fail because I'm trying to do everything at once. So, that when you're a mom, usually 5 a.m. in the morning, nobody was for God to bless me with multiple streams of income. So I kid you guys not, the next day, this girl who had been trying to reach out to me for a while, like for a long time, trying to convince me to join this business, reached out to me again, and I started to boohoo cry because everything that she said aligned to what I had written down. I have a couple Bibles I can send you, but I don't have any tablets I can send you, but I could definitely send you a couple of Bibles. Just send me your unnecessarily. My credit cards, I max them out and I invest. No, son, no. No, that is a no-no. You don't need to do that. Okay, then you need to get on the toilet and you need to use it. Okay? So anyways, it is breaking up. So I was saying, so I invested over $10,000 in credit card debt and I had no money. This was just debt. I went into debt for this business because I heard the Lord saying that if you say yes to this, you're doing it not for me or not for you. You're doing it for other people. So my daughter suffered from extreme eczema, you guys. I mean, I can show you pictures one day, but it was like eczema breaking out in her eyeballs, breaking out in her arms, breaking out everywhere. Okay. And so the business that I invested in was a Nagic. It's a Kangen. It's Kangen water. This water has completely healed my daughter's eczema. My daughter does not have eczema anymore. So even though I'm not rich from that business or I'm making a whole bunch of money, not only did God use that to catapult me into ministry, He used the people. I sat at tables with millionaires. I sat at people with marketing skills. I sat at tables with people who had made millions of dollars. God bless me. He that's why my TikTok expanded. That's why my YouTube is expanding. That's why I'm being blessed, is because I took a risk, because I listened to the Lord. Not only that, my daughter's eczema is healed. I would invest $1 million to heal her. I would invest again and again. She's already healed. The water healed her, alkaline water. She bathes in that. We bathe in this Anespa. It's called an Anespa system. We have a water system that you can change the pH levels. We put to her eczema spots, and she does not have reactions to eczema anymore. All I'm trying to say is, and my whole point of this testimony is, listen to the Lord. Stop listening to man. Stop telling your dreams to everybody else. Stop going and asking for permission. Stop waiting for the yes from everybody else and go do what the Lord is telling you. I went $10,000 in debt and I'm still paying that debt off, but it healed my daughter. It healed her eczema that she was struggling with, that even the the dermatologist couldn't help her with. They were giving her creams and this and that, and no remedy was working. But the Lord literally had me listen to his voice, because not only did he bless me with water that saved my daughter's eczema, but he blessed me with knowledge that I did not have, that blessed me with 70,000 subscribers, that blessed me with 58,000 subscribers, that blessed me and put me exactly where I am right now. And now I'm seeing nothing but abundance, and not only just physically, not only just materialistically, but I'm seeing it. Ask anybody to buy since I've done this business, and God's blessed me in my true calling, and made me really change into who I'm supposed to be. Guess what? I have not even cared about the business, because at the end of the day, no matter if I sell another water machine another day in my life, my daughter was healed from this water. I'm not here to sell nothing. I don't want y'all to buy nothing. That's not the point of this. The point is that you need to go for your dreams. You need to go after what God is telling you. The point is for you to trust in the Lord with all of your heart and stop leaning on your own understanding, because you never know what is on the side of that unknown door. You never know the blessings that awaits you when you go past the unknown door. You never know the abundance and the breakthroughs and the rewards of your faithfulness and obedience that is on the other side of the unknown that you are afraid of stepping into. That is the point. I don't need no money. I don't that he had me invest that $10,000 into for my daughter to be saved from her eczema. I don't care. I don't need nobody to want it. All I'm telling you guys is to listen to the voice of your Father, because that one risk, that one step that you're scared of taking is going to be the step that breaks your whole life, breaks through your whole life. Doubt is for him to do. That is the purpose of this live. Not selling nothing, because if I was just selling, I wouldn't get deep and tell y'all my whole life story. I don't need sales, because guess what? I started in this business thinking I was going to just be a person that was selling. I didn't know that I was going to expand in ministry like this, but God used that one door that I stepped through to expand my whole entire life. There's no more, because I'm being blessed through ministry. I don't need the things of the world, because I'm being blessed. Every time God gave me a vision, I would go and ask somebody, like, should I do this? Should I do this? And I was giving my dreams to people who could never dream that big. Every time God was telling me to do something, I would go up to somebody and be like, oh, do you think this is right? Do you think I should do this? What do you think? No, what I'm trying to tell y'all is stop waiting for man's validation. Stop taking what God has given to you and throwing it to people who have not broken no type of chains in their life, because they're not going to see the vision. They're not going to tell you to take the step. They're not going to tell you to have faith and take the risk, because they don't have eyes to see or ears to understand what the Lord is telling you. That's the point of this. I thought I was going to be a millionaire from that business, but guess what? God had another plan, and I'm grateful for his plan, because it's putting me exactly where I'm supposed to be. Even though I invested, went in debt, messed my credit up. Who cared for? Guess what? Though I didn't make a lot of money in that business, I have now a community, a support system, people who pray over me, people who love me, people who see the gift of God in me that I have always known. I stop going to people who have no faith and expecting them to tell you to take risks to have it. Stop going back to the people who hurt you, who cannot help you get to where God is telling you to go, and be a freaking student to he's your teacher. Jesus is your teacher. He's your Messiah. He's your Abba. He's your Father. Stop telling people that first, because they're going to put their doubt on it. They're going to put their voodoo on it. They're going to put their negativity on it. And then you're going to be discouraged. And God was telling you to take the step that would probably have helped them have faith. So whoever you are, I'm only telling you this because I love you and I love the people of God and I love what God has done for me. If God is telling you to do something, trust him. That's all I'm trying to say. Trust him and take the steps. Stop asking everybody else to agree. Stop asking everybody else to see it. Stop sending your visions out to everybody else, and trust the Lord with it so that they can see the abundance come into your life. And then they're going to come ask you what happened. You ain't even going to have to tell them first. You get what I'm saying? Let the fruit speak for you. And then when they see the fruit, they're going to come running to you and ask you, what happened? How did you do this? How did that happen? How did your daughter get eczema free from eczema? How did you have your ministry expand like that? And you're going to be able to tell them, because I went through an unknown door that God was calling me through, that everybody else told me I was crazy for doing. I used to tell everybody everything, especially those who I wanted to love me. Remind y'all, I just told y'all I had daddy issues. My daddy wasn't there. He was broken. He was on drugs. So every time I got something that God gave me, I would send it to him like, oh, and he never supported me. So then when I didn't get the support from the people that I thought were supposed to love me, that I thought were supposed to support me, then I would be feeling discouraged, like I was listening to the wrong thing that God was telling me. So then I wouldn't take the step. And then I felt this desperate. Then I felt like I was crazy. Then I felt like I wasn't worthy. Then I felt like I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't able to do what I knew God was calling me to do. So I'm just giving y'all wisdom that I lacked a couple years ago. I lacked that wisdom, and every dream that I had, I sent it to somebody else, wanting their approval first, wanting their, oh, you're doing good, I'm proud of you. I wanted the recognition. But the only recognition I ever needed was God. And now that I feel like all those times I was sending those dreams to other people, the reason they never come to pass, because that's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm lost. My son passed away in May. Father, we just ask for you to give her renewal of her mind, of her strength. And God, I believe that when we pass away, we are not dead. We are not dead. To die is to gain. And I know that sounds harsh coming from somebody who may not understand your pain, because I can't sit here and say that I know how it feels to lose it. I believe that we're transitioning into the true version of who we are. Your son no longer has to a place that is beautiful. He's in a place that is like full of hurt. And I believe that he has transitioned into who he was always supposed to be. I believe to die is to gain. I know that sounds crazy, but we have to prepare ourselves for that day as well. So I'm praying for the peace that surpasses all understanding over your life right now. Purpose, and you will bring and be an advocate to those in this world who need Jesus. Through your son, through his spirit that is still alive. I don't believe in death with Christ. All I believe in is how you have right now. That strength that you have right now that you didn't have before he was here, before he was gone, he's the one that's giving that to you. God is using him as a ministering spirit. Still, in the afterlife, in the eternal life, in eternity, for your good. And a lot of people might think I'm crazy for saying that, but that's just what I believe. I believe he's an angel. He's been assigned his place in heaven, and now he is an angel to you. In Jesus' mighty name. Really quick. I don't need anything in this world. God could take every single... I've had nothing. I've had it all stripped away, and I still love the Lord. I've been on the streets, drugged out, completely out of my mind, and just nothing could compare to God. Nothing could compare to his presence. Thank you guys for the sewing into me. I seen somebody sew like $9.99 and $5 on YouTube. I appreciate y'all sewing. Didn't even ask, and God